How's it going, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. Today, I'm going to talk about anger. Um, it's something that I struggled with, and to a degree, I think I still struggle with, but not in the ways that I did when I was a younger man. Um, I'm in my 30s now. I was definitely a much angrier person when I was in my 20s, and a lot of that had to do more so with me than anyone else. And then later in the video, I'll talk about how we can kind of, at least my advice, and how you can kind of mitigate um, being angry, especially if you're the type of person that lashes out to people who don't deserve it. And nobody deserves to be hurt, one, physically. You never put your hands on someone in anger. That's not what we do as a society. It's completely wrong. And you don't verbally try and hurt somebody. There's nothing worse than hurting someone, especially someone you love or a friend or someone you work with. It never felt good to me whenever I was treated people wrong, and it usually didn't have anything to do with them. It had everything to do with me. That's kind of like a guilt and shame topic that I'll probably talk about in another video. But first off, anger is a very real emotion. I don't know anyone who's never not been angry. Even if they were, if they didn't seem angry, you could definitely tell. Or they just didn't get it as jazzed up about it as probably I would at the time. And there are times where it is okay to be angry, and I say you don't react in a way like righteous anger is something where someone in it, like righteous anger would be something that where someone is innocent and they're hurt for no reason. Like if you're talking with a family member that you love and they got into an argument with their spouse or their significant other, and they told you that their person had hurt them when they didn't deserve it, you'd be like, well, that's really crappy. Like, yeah, that's not good. You would be upset about that because you're like, well, why would they say that, especially if it's untrue. A lot of times people will say things that they really don't mean when they're angry, and it's to hurt, and you don't want to hurt anybody emotionally or physically. So anger is a very real emotion. We all have it. For me, usually anger came from something that was wrong in my life, that I would kind of use it as an excuse of, well, my life is terrible, or which was never the case. It's these lies that we tell to ourselves that, my life is horrible and this and that. And, I would be short with people or kind of be rude sometimes when people didn't deserve it. And that always made me feel worse. But it was usually something in my life, whether it was a decision that I had made that had led to consequences to where I wasn't where I wanted to be in life, which is projecting. Like, I was taking my problems and putting it on other people when they didn't deserve it. And you really separate yourself from, one, just the common man when you do that, and especially from people that you love and you care about, or your friends or your coworkers. That's nowhere like where you want to be. And that is more of a guilt and shame topic that I'll probably talk about, but it kind of does tie into this, so I will speak about it a little bit. So usually when I did treat someone badly or was rude to them or short or lashed out, they never really deserved it. It's usually you have a hurt inside of you that you want others to hurt too. The saying is misery loves company. I think that's very true. I think if you're miserable in your life, you kind of want people to feel sorry for you or to be at that same level as you. And That's not a healthy place to be for you or them. And if you love someone, you don't want to bring them down to that level either. And usually, most of the time, your loved one, whether it's your girlfriend or your wife, they're trying to be there for you. Usually, I would say, at least in my case, they would try and be there for me. And I would look for reasons to still be upset. And a lot of that is guilt and shame. Like you think that you might be undeserving of happiness because of what you said or what you did, which led to you being here when you wanted to be up here. And that's not a good place to be. So one, I would say guilt and shame, gotta let that go, even though those are also very real emotions. Everyone feels them. But you have to own up to your decisions that you made. That's part of being an adult. That's part of growth, recognizing what you did and one, not doing it anymore. If you're kind of stuck in that cycle where you're angry all the time, but you keep doing the same things, do you really think that what you're doing is going to make matters better? Or do they just stay the same or keep getting worse? Insanity is the idea of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome when there's never been a different outcome. It's always been negative in your life. So I would say stop doing those things that are causing you to have guilt and shame, that make you angry, that make you separate yourself from your loved ones or your family, and one from God. You don't want to be separate from God because you're just so angry at everything. And if it is not things that you can control, like I said, there are things that make you angry that cause guilt and shame that you did. One, own it, stop doing it, repent, go the other way, and stop. And if it's something that's happening to you that's out of your control, or if it's not happening to you that's out of your control, you have to not dwell on it. Because if you can't do anything about it, it does you no good at all to keep thinking about it. If you keep thinking about something all the time, and it's not going to change, that is insanity. That you're literally telling yourself the same lies that something is going to change when it's not going to change. And that causes anger. So you have to let it go. You literally have to let it go. And I would say if you're struggling with that, pray on it or seek professional help. Go to a counselor, biblical counseling, whatever it is, a therapist, a family member, or a trusted friend that you can talk about these things with that you can't control, or the things that you can control that you need help with. And I'm a firm believer that we can't do this all on our own. You have to put in the effort and the work to want to do better. So I'd say go to God. He's going to help you more than anyone else, because if you're a Christian, you will be made anew. You will be transformed. God's going to work through you to change you to where you're not doing those things anymore. So one, I would say focus on Him. That's probably the biggest cure to being angry. Focus on Him. Give your anger to God. Like literally, I think I prayed not that long ago over something that I was frustrated about, and it had something to do with me, because I've gotten better about letting go of things that are out of my control. And it more so had to do with my life choices and me being angry with myself. And I literally just pray and I'm like, God, take this from me. This is a burden that I do not want anymore. I can't carry it. It's too heavy. I have to let this go. And in turn, it got better. And that's all God's victory. That's not my own. All glory to Him. you can be that person that doesn't get angry. You can be that cool head, that stoic person, man or woman. You can be that person. God's going to work to transform you so that you're not angry, because being angry literally is just like right here. Like, have you ever known someone who blew up at a party? Or it's kind of like a storm. It's kind of like when a storm comes on a nice day and it ruins the picnic or whatever, and it just kind of kills the joy. I've been that person before. I've been that person where people are like, what is wrong with him? And I've seen people act that way too, where I was like, what's wrong with them? Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Don't react. And that's easier said than done, because our emotions are very powerful. But your heart and your mind are more powerful than your emotions. If you really want to change and not get angry about things and be able to handle things, like I said, go to God first, and He will help you with that. You can be the positive person that you want to be. You don't have to lower yourself to anger. It's not for us, you know? And like I said, you can be righteously angry about things, but don't dwell on it, especially if it's out of your control. If you want to be righteously angry, be righteously angry to yourself, but not in the sense where you're doing something that's hindering your spiritual growth. Don't lower yourself for that, because it's never worth it. I think I've kind of said what I needed to say. So hopefully that helps. If anyone has any questions, please leave in the comments. This will probably be an ongoing topic that I talk about, because you're not going to probably change overnight. But whatever you can do right now, whether it's thinking more positively, changing your ways, not doing the things that are going to keep you in that guilt and shame that cause you to lash out in anger, to hurt people emotionally, don't do it. You don't have to do it. It's going to be okay. You'll be okay. So hopefully you guys liked the video. Like I said, any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you. God bless.